Hello and welcome back. In this video I will look at the new skill gems and maybe I find some new insights that would inspire you. The first thought I had when I looked at control plays, I thought maybe it stacks infinitely. Then I wanted to use Mantra of Flames with Bone Shatter, but it turned out in 3.20 Mantra of Flames got disabled from dropping, so it's only a standard thing, and control plays isn't an infinite stacking mechanic anyway. The next thing I thought about was Corrupting Cry, because it has a cost and reservation multiplier of 1000%, but maybe with Archmage, but then the skill has supported skills, cost life instead of mana. Maybe we can scale that somehow anyway. And then for the Flamewood support, I thought about supporting it with greater multiple projectiles or volley, if that works, and if we can link the unique gloves Black Zenith with it, maybe multiple totems, then maybe avoid their cooldown in some way. These are the Black Zenith gloves. Projectile spells deal 150% more damage with hits, 4-second cooldown for additional projectiles, projectiles in a circle, and 80% less skill effect duration. And Flamewood is a spell probably, because it has attack for it. Guardian's Blessing, you need a tanky mob that has some sustain. Summon Holy Relic has some self-sustain. And so does the Summon Reaper, if it eats some of your other minions, but that's more of a downside than the Summon Holy Relic in my opinion, and those could support the Guardian's Blessing. Then the Trauma support, you have to use the skill yourself, and you can use it on totems for example, and only supports Axes, Maces, Scepters and Staffs. For the Locust Mine support, I thought about different uses. Either you are face to face with the boss, and then you throw the mines behind yourself, and then the mines fly towards you and then into the boss. Or you throw the mines slightly behind the boss, and then everything goes towards your direction and everything hits the boss. For example, you throw a mine with one fireball, then you throw a total of 3 mines, and then you have 30% less. So probably gets rounded down to 2. And the volatility support is basically a Reslatter's Coil. If you look at this, you have more maximum physical damage and less minimum physical damage. And I thought if you scale this together with a lightning skill and maybe the Reslatter's Coil, and then you add the lucky mod into the mix, then you could probably get some insanely high upper ends of the damage and scale that however you want, maybe with the bleed, poison or ignite. Returning projectiles is kinda nice. The projectile only loses the damage while it's returning, the 61% less damage. The best part is that it can be supported with spells. These are the active spells skill gems. I think for Cremation, the projectiles get destroyed once they hit, so those shouldn't work, but I could imagine Eye of Winter working together with the skill gem, and like Ice Spear, and hopefully some other skills as well. Then Sadism, it lowers the duration a shitload. And in the past, some Ignite builds used Synthesis Scepters for 20% faster ignites. That was already very difficult to maintain a decent uptime. With 80%, that's probably way too low, or way too difficult to scale or upkeep. Then for Devour, I thought about other stuff like Herald of Ash, Herald of Ice, or something else that snowballs, or if you can link it to some other form of explosion, which chains, and maybe you can link the Devour skill gem to Contagion. That counts usually as killing. It was relevant in the past when we had Magic Finding, and you used Contagion, and the increased item rarity gem applied to the Contagion even though you killed with like an Essence Drain. You could use a similar technology with the Devour and sustain your life and mana that way a little bit better. Link like increased duration, Contagion and Devour. For Fresh Meat, it provides an Adrenaline buff and Awakened Fury. Adrenaline, the buff, is 100% increased damage, 25% increased attack, cast and movement speed, and 10% additional physical damage reduction, which is mostly relevant for the minions. The difficult part is that the buff lasts for 10% of the duration of the minion, up to a maximum of 10 seconds. And most minions have like 4, maybe 10 seconds duration, so you get a 1 second buff out of it, which is kind of bad for a support gem, because then you need to spam it a lot. And then I thought about Oberon's Warpath, which summon skeletons are permanent and follow you. Therefore they have an infinite duration, theoretically, and they get the full 10 seconds, and you just resummon them every 10 seconds, or a little bit earlier to be on the safer side, if you can support it. And another thing about the boots, they kind of got nerfed, I think. You can only summon one at a time. Probably in the past the people used Spell Echo to summon them at the start, instead of the minion damage, and then swap the Spell Echo out. I think the quality of life got nerfed a bit with the patch notes. About Frigid Bond, I'm not sure if you need to link it to the link skill, so you basically lose a socket. already. Sacrifice has no more mana or life cost multiplier. It only costs 20% of your current life, and you get 44% of sacrificed life as damage. So the simple napkin math is that you get 10% of your current life as extra damage. It's flat damage. And Spellblade might be interesting, but I didn't think of anything fun yet. And I never used Battle Mage either, so that's not my area of expertise. And for Cremation, got the added tag Orb in the patch notes. At Sacrifice, we see cannot support orb skills, and it can support Tornado, Frostbomb, Galvanic Field, Hydrosphere, Orb of Storms, Void Sphere, and Winter Orb either, probably because those skills have a long duration and they don't want us to snapshot the big damage increase onto a long duration spell. I hope you got inspired. Like and subscribe for more. Until next time, bye bye.